I knew when this game first got announced that I was going to absolutely love it, and I have been waiting and anticipating the launch of Chaos Zero Nightmare since it got announced, and since I saw the early access gameplay of it, and we saw the card game battle system. A lot of people's heads were spinning. Is this going to play like Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross with, you know, the turn-based card battle system? No one thought there was going to be any roguelike mechanics until it was finally talked about. But man, I had to make a video on this because Chaos Zero Nightmare is probably one of the best gacha games that I have ever played. Honestly, one of the best roguelikes I've ever played. If you've ever played anything like Slay the Spire or Darkest Dungeon, you know the kind of gameplay, you know, loop that these kind of games have with the card-based battle system. And this game just pulls it off so masterfully. Now, it does have some issues, I will say right off the bat. Before I get into glazing the game, I will say one of the only and main issues I have is the translations and localization of the game has been, it's awful. It's so bad, man. I can't even front how bad it is. There's some cards where I'm looking at it, I'm like, this makes no sense, because I'll explain one of the cards say, right? So the way the game works is you have an HP, and I'll be showing all this on the screen, correct? But I'm farming right now, so I'll just show you guys now. As you can see, there is a health bar, right? And all three characters share the same health bar. Now, when one character gets knocked out, they all get knocked out. That's how it works, because when the HP bar goes to 0, they're all knocked out. They all die, right? So there's no like traditional like, oh, you lose HP, the one character dies, the other ones stay up and they can revive. No. When the HP bar goes down, they're all dead, okay? The card in question, I can't show you because it's an epiphany. It's like an upgrade to the cards, and I'll get into all that. But what the card says, right, the card upgrade, it says, when an ally is defeated, you get so-and-so bonus, like damage, right? And I'm thinking, I'm like, when an ally is defeated, when ally is defeated, we lose. Like, so what the fuck kind of, what is that? But that's because it's supposed to say when an enemy is defeated, when an ally defeats an enemy, or when an enemy is defeated, you get that, you know, said bonus. But the game is not translated properly, and they're still making updates. They're still changing these things, and they've been updating a couple of them. They need to do it a little bit faster because there's a lot of mistranslations on a lot of cards. That, and I think stamina could use a buff. Maybe we get more stamina return. You know, the stamina goes up faster. It takes a little bit too long to refill stamina. You waste stamina really fast, and you're not getting a lot of, you know, rewards for the stamina you're wasting. And I think those two are the only things I have issues with. But even then, I'm still finding ways to play the game for like 10 hours a day without wasting stamina. So I don't think the stamina is as big an issue. I think this is more of a marathon and not a race kind of thing. But I just wanted to get those two off rip, get them out of the way before I get into just absolutely glazing the crap out of this game. Let's get into one of the best things about this game. Characters are absolutely incredible. And I want to talk about how they handle, like, just how every character in this game is so incredibly useful. Not just the 5 stars that, you know, require pulling on. A lot of the 4 stars that you get while pulling for 5 stars are a lot of the ones they give you for free at the start of the game. Like, literally one of the characters they give you for free in the beginning, Mika, should be a 5-star. She is the best healer support in the game, like hands down. She is literally on every team. And when I do the end game modes, which I already have unlocked, where you have to use 2 teams, I'm like, oh man, every preset I have has Mika on every team because she is that good. But let me just show you guys, for example, right, a team comp that I use in, especially when I'm doing the dark dungeons, when I'm going into dungeons, doing the roguelike mode. One of the teams that I like to use, hopefully there is a team thing here and not just in the actual, okay, so I can't see the presets here. So what I'll do is I'll just go to simulation so I can show you guys one of my preset teams. So as you can see, I'm about to do a dark stage, and the dark team, the one I have selected, is the one with Mika, Kayron, which Kayron, if you've played Epic 7, is pretty much the same. It's like an Easter egg. He's literally from Epic 7. Same studio that made Epic 7 made this game, Smilegate. So you see Ray is on the team. Now Ray has many uses. So let me go to load her in right here. Now, if I click on Ray, other people can work on this Kayron team, not just Ray. But the reason I have Ray, right? Let me show you what this game does when you go into roguelike modes. When you go into roguelike modes, you can get these TB, which is like save data from going through the roguelikes and getting the upgrades. So the way that the roguelike modes is, when you go into roguelike mode and you get upgrades for your cards and you get equipment and you get buffs, etc., you get to save that data, and you get to use that save data, those upgraded cards, on other game modes. So whether that be story, whether that be simulations for grinding for mats, whether that be end game, they have an MOC variant that unlocks at level 50. If you never played Honkai Star Rail, that's what I'm talking about. It's an end game mode where you have to use 2 different teams, and each stage gets progressively harder, and there's like an overall buff for you and the enemy, usually, that, you know, makes it a little bit more difficult. So it's the end game grind where you're going to be grinding for your gems that you're going to be using for your, you know, pulling for your characters or whatever, and it's usually like a bi-weekly or monthly thing that you do in the game. And they do have game modes like this in Chaos Zero Nightmare, and you can use these in those game modes. Now, I even have a boss card here. As you can see, this is a rare drop that you can get from a boss. That's why it has that rainbow color around it, and it is actually a pretty good card. But the reason I'm using her on Kayron, so I specifically went in the dungeon trying to find save data to specifically build her to just support and buff Kayron. As you can see, this is an upgraded version of the card that increases, so it's an upgrade. So when you do upgrade, it's a permanent effect until the end of the battle. So when you're doing simulation modes and there's multiple waves, this counts. Well, every time you end a battle in the roguelike mode, this goes away and you have to do it all over again. So when you're in the end game modes, this is permanent. You do the upgrade once, and then every card after that, plus 40 damage for a void card, and Kayron is all void damage. Now, that is not the only card that I have that she buffs with. So the good thing that she does right here with her snack time, I got extremely lucky on this run. This usually is select one card and then just select one random card from the deck. But this, upgraded, is select 2 cards, and then you can select 1 void card to draw from your deck, right? That you're gonna want for your Kayron. Say you want a card that does a lot of damage for your Kayron, but it's still in your deck, and you want to have like the perfect setup in your hand. This is the card you're going to be using for it. And now the reason why selecting 2 cards to exhaust is very good. If I show you Kayron's deck, right? He has this card called Black Hole. For every futility card, which he creates these cards through other cards, right? It's almost like a trash thing, right? For every futility card that he exhausts, which as you saw on her snack time thing, she can exhaust, she can select 2 cards and exhaust them. It gives him plus 40% more damage permanently to Black Hole. Now, let me show you guys an image of how broken you can get this. This is a Black Hole card that I was doing the endgame mode, that I was able to get it up to 2,160% damage by exhausting futility cards. That is actually insane. I have actually gotten it higher than this, but this is the only screenshot I have for it right now. As you can see, the base damage is 245%. So I got this card 2,000 more damage, 2,000% more damage. So this is the kind of things in this game that makes it so fun, because Ray is a 4-star. She's a character you get for free in the beginning of the game from the story. And then you can obviously pull dupes of her, and I have pulled dupes of her. But she is such an incredible character, you know, and like even going through the roguelike mode for Kayron, for the 5-star, I ended up getting him an upgrade card, which is very, very good for him. Probably the best card in his deck. Unique Outbreak of War. Outbreak of War means that this card is at the top of your deck at the beginning of the turn for every battle. And it's an upgrade card, so you only use it once, and it's a permanent effect for the rest of the battle. 0 cost, so it means it costs 0, and every futility card that you create changes it from just a regular exhaust card, right? Because let me show you what a regular futility card is, right? Futility is just exhaust. It does no damage, it does no healing, it does nothing. You literally have to waste a turn, one cost, to get rid of it, to make your other cards do more damage. So you're wasting turns. But with this card, it turns these into damage cards that also heal. So you're dealing damage and healing for 82%. Now keep in mind, if you paired them up with Ray is making you do 40% more damage on your void cards because of that one upgrade card that I got from her run doing the roguelike. So this actually goes to 122%. So you see what I'm saying here? Like, there's so many ways that you can build characters in this game. And Ray also works for a lot of other teams. Ray also works for, if I'm not mistaken, can work for Mei Lin, which I finally just got Mei Lin, and I'm building Mei Lin out right now. So, but the thing is, I'm gonna have to do a different run with Ray because these cards aren't gonna work for Mei Lin, because this entire deck is for boosting void damage and is made specifically to pair up with Kayron. And you can save your clear data, You can, like right here, this is the base data right here, 1500. The other ones I had got rid of because they're kind of junk. So a lot of people were like, why would you save data? Why wouldn't you just have one? Why wouldn't you just pick the one that gives you the strongest damage? Because there's characters that can be built multiple different ways and support other characters in multiple different ways. It's insane the amount of customization and building and strategy that goes into building these characters and building these decks. Everyone looks at, a lot of people are looking at memory fragments saying, oh, this is going to take a while to grind. I just put random stuff on here. But dude, like, this is like just scratching the surface. This is nothing compared to what you can do for these characters. Like, yeah, you can grind gear, which is probably the last thing you want to do in the game. I think potential is more important because you're unlocking passives to the characters and making their cards overall do more damage, right? So I think that's guaranteed damage. That's a lot better than farming for RNG on gear. But the gear is probably like the least important thing that you want to worry about. Obviously, the cards, farming for the save data is the most important. You're also getting equipment from the roguelike modes that are making you deal more damage as well. So I just wanted to highlight real quickly in the beginning how insanely good they did at doing the deck building and the character building, team building. There are so many different ways each and every character can be built, especially the 4 stars. They can be made to support multiple different characters with multiple different builds. Probably the best I've ever seen, like, in a gacha game. Because here's the problem a lot of gacha games have, right? In most gacha games, you go through, like, Wuthering Waves, for example. I love Wuthering Waves. I love the end game. You know, could add a lot more battle events, and it could have more end game. I want the, you know, original Illusion of Dreams to come back, but they still haven't brought it back. They keep doing this weird freaking like Monopoly board thing with it. I hate it so much. But all that aside, the problem I had with Wuthering Waves is the progression, the difficulty during progression is non-existent. There is no difficulty. You are just steamrolling the game throughout the entire game until you get to the end. And honestly, that is like the issue that I had as well with Duet Night Abyss, which I am going to give the game another shot, you know, because I do want to see what the 1.1 is going to look like. I have seen a lot of people say that, you know, the part 2 of the story is really good. And I have seen some builds with like weapons doing more crazy stuff when you pair them up with like, there's these augment slots that you can put in that make your weapons do different things. And reversing can be different as well. Your slide roll thing from Warframe that they took can be enhanced as well through these, I think they're called like demon anchors or something like that. So I will give the game another shot. But most of these games, most gacha games, if not all of them, the overall progression of, which is why I love Epic 7 so much too, by the way, because it also has like difficulty progressing through the game. And that's what a lot of console games do too, and a lot of PC games, and that's what makes them so much more enjoyable than gacha games. That's why a lot of gacha games are just shut your brain off kind of fun and, you know, not have to really think about it until you get to the end game where people think it's either you spend a lot of money, you spend a lot of time. But in this game, strategy means a lot. Building characters means a lot. Throughout the entire game, the story, dude, I got story blocked in this game. There is I don't know what the fuck's happening with my voice there. There is a part in the story, which I'm not going to spoil, because the story in this is actually genuinely really good. Chapter 1's really good. 2 and 3, no, chapter 2 was kind of mid. It was a lot of yapping. And then chapter 3 and beyond is just, oh my God, this game's dark and beautiful. It's so good. But there was a fight specifically, I think at the end of chapter 4 or chapter 5, where you have to fight a character that turns into a villain. And it is an insane fight that has 2 phases. He has a giant fat shield in both phases. He has a move where he's putting cards in your deck that are 0 cost. And while it gives you a tiny bit of shield or a tiny bit of a heal when you use it, it's giving him a fuck ton of shield. So if you don't use it, he's going to keep putting those cards in your deck to the point all you're doing is drawing those cards, and you're not drawing any of your cards that you want to either heal yourself to not die or deal damage to him. And the first few times I fought him, I'm like, damn, this is rough. And I was trying not to use those cards because I didn't want to give him a shield. I was severely under-leveled when I fought him, and I thought, it's okay. I was level 40, he was level 50. I didn't think it was that big a difference. It's a big difference. I did eventually beat him with level 40 characters, with one character being level 50. But it was an insanely beautiful challenge because it was fun the entire time. The boss fights actually have mechanics that you have to work around, like the one I just explained. There's enemies that have, like, there's bosses that have, you know, mechanics that if you don't deal damage to them or kill their ads, the ads are going to keep giving them like buffs that stack that make them take like reduced 70% damage for each stack. So even if you have a card that deals like 2000% damage, if they have 20 stacks of that other thing, they are taking 1400% less damage. So that card that you have instead of 2000% damage is going to be like 700%. You see what I'm saying? So like there's a lot of different mechanics to the game and a lot of different ways to play the game and build your characters around. There's actually boss fights where you have to build characters specifically for those fights, which is so insanely good, right? And this is all no stamina. You can go in the roguelike mode and not waste any stamina. You won't get like the full rewards at the end, which is like mats for your characters and like character or like account XP, but you can still do that entire run and leave without wasting stamina at the end and still keep all your save data for the characters. So you can still build your characters even while having no stamina. For example, if you want to make that fight easier that I was just talking about, where the story boss, where he just keeps giving you cards in your deck that kind of give him more shield, you can build certain decks for certain characters that, because there are certain characters in the game that like can, you know, pierce through shield and do either they do extra shield damage or they completely ignore the shield, which I believe Selena, who is the rabbit like sniper girl, she can just bypass shield. She can do damage through shields. That's how insanely good she is. So you could do a run where you build her and like build her up and just say F his shield and just keep doing damage through without even worrying about the shield at all. So you can keep using that zero cost card to give him a shield to get it out of your deck, and his shield will still keep going up. But Selena's like, I don't care about the shield. I'm going to keep piercing it and keep just doing damage to you anyway. So you see what I'm saying? There's so, and she's a 4-star. Like, so there's so many characters in this game that are so good without having to worry about, you know, spending money on getting the best new character. Like, that's why I love about Epic 7. That's why I still play it to this day and why I love this game so much. Every character has a purpose. Every character in this game can be good and be used for something. And in this game's case, in multiple ways. Just for reference, this is the character that I'm talking about that can pierce shields, right? So if I go look at her save data, she has a card that does piercing damage. Damage that ignores shield. And this is her basic card, her basic one-cost card. And she also marks enemies. So when she marks enemies, that means anytime that enemy is attacked or another enemy is attacked on the field, she damages the marked enemy. And she also has an upgrade card where she does 40% more mark damage. So that makes all your cards do 40% more damage. So instead of 102%, 142%. I could keep going on and on about characters in this for the longest time, dude. Like, this game has such beautiful character building and it is absurdly fun. Like, bro, look how much I've been playing this game. The best part about this game is I am like 40 hours plus in this game, and I am still learning new shit about this game every day. You'll see a lot of people's accounts are only like level 40 characters, barely hitting level 40. My account level's like level, I think, 45 right now. Yeah, I'm about to be level 45. I want to hit 50 so I can unlock the end game mode, the final end game mode that we have. But the thing is, I've been refreshing stamina every day, which I don't recommend you do if you're free to play. Probably just refresh a couple times and then call it a day for the beginning, just at least until you hit level 30 or 40, then stop doing it because hitting level 40 is going to take a bit if you're free to play. But dude, I have been building every character. I need to finish building up Cassius. Cassius is so good. Beryl's at level 40. I need to get her 50. And honestly, even these 4-star tanks are really good. Maribel, goddamn. I almost forgot what I was doing when I was staring at those things. But yeah, she is actually a very good tank. She's pretty much like a budget Magna. If you have Magna, she is the ice tank right here. Let me use a different screen here so you guys can better see what I'm talking about. But yeah, Magna here is a 5-star tank, and Maribel is pretty much like a 4-star version of her. Pretty much has the same concept of kit, but you know, same amount, does a little bit less damage, right? But there is so many ways, again, to make characters useful in this game. But I think I've talked about that enough, so let me go and talk about one of my favorite things in this game. Now, this event is probably one of the best events I've seen done in a gacha game in a long time. I've already claimed all the rewards. I've already finished this event. Oh, I forgot to claim the last one. I think I did that. But I've already done everything in this event. The event battles are really good. And this is how you showcase a new character. So for reference, this is Haru. Haru is the banner character in the game right now. As you can see, she is the limited banner character in the game. This is the banner that is equivalent to like Wuthering Waves releasing Galbrenna, right? Like a brand new character. So, and then this is going to cycle to a different one. This one's the standard banner, right? So every time it seems like that there's going to be a new character, they're going to be doing an event for said character. Now, what's so amazing about this event is you can not only try the characters. A lot of gacha games let you do a trial run of the character, but no, this game does much more than that. It gives you full level 60 characters with like best team comps to run this character, and it even shows you like deck wise what you would want to go for if you have these characters and you want to go build them in the roguelike mode. So as you can see, these are upgraded cards in the Epiphany already, right? So it shows you like using Cassius with her lets you like draw like constant, you know, anchor shots to just keep doing anchor shot over and over and over. And pairing her with Mika, which Mika gives you 1 AP when using the source of water. You can actually also get an upgrade for this where it gives you 3 AP, which I do have a build for that too, but I think there's better uses of that instead of 3 AP one. But not only do they just show you like, and they actually like just give you this full kitted out team to do this. You would think, okay, that's it. No, they just keep doing other modes where you're using, and this might get you to use characters where you think, oh man, this shield, this tank character is not as good as my Magna or my Kalipe. But then you use Amir is my favorite tank in the game. I love Kalipe, she does a lot of damage, but Magna and Amir tank wise are like the best tanks in the game. I absolutely love this character, and it shows you like how good that, you know, Amir can be, because right here you can do the heavenly the heaven cards as a tactic in this, where when you use a 2-cost card, Amir does heaven, which is, as you can see, the cards say heaven on it, which means she triggers this. She triggers these cards without having to use them. You see how incredibly like useful these events are, because you can literally just learn how to play characters that you would thought you had previously thought were bad, or you didn't know how to build them, you didn't know how useful they were. It just keeps going. Not just Amir, then they also show you a build of using Magna, which, like I was saying, Magna is one of the best tanks in the game. You pretty much just shield with her, and then you'll end up doing vulnerable damage with her AoE shield, which she does vulnerable damage to all enemies. And then it shows you how to use Power Charge, which that's the AoE move that Haru has, and she has Charge Energy, which makes a card do and retain. Retain, by the way, means that it stays in your card the longer it's in your hand. The more it upgrade, the more damage and more buffs that you get from it. So the plus 60% goes up. So you're literally using that before you use Power Charge, and then Power Charge is then going to deal more damage, right? So they just literally show you, and not only just show you how to use the character, dude, the actual like story for this, I still got to do Renoa's. The actual story for this is so damn good. I was locked in, dude. I almost cried. Haru's backstory is so tragic, man, especially when you see her in the beginning of this event, and she's like such a happy-go-lucky, like happy character, and then you do this event and you're like, wow, that was extremely depressing, dude. Holy crap. Like, this is so, her backstory is sad. So I think they handled getting like you to fall for the character, feel for the character, get an attachment to the character, not only in the story, but also in gameplay as well. Insanely well done event. This is how you do the event. Nothing against Wuthering Waves, but not doing a stupid version of a Vampire Survivors, right? Like a stupid version of a roguelike. Not stupid, but it was like a baby ass version of a roguelike. And it was just incredibly boring. And I sat through it to get the gems for free, but that is not how you do an event, man. This is how you do an event. This has quite literally become one of my favorite gacha games I have ever played, and I am absolutely addicted to this game right now. Now, when you hit level 40, you unlock something called the Zero System. The Zero System is the coolest shit in this game. It is another roguelike mode that you unlock, right? So let me show you the actual roguelike mode, right? Chaos is the roguelike mode. You go into a world inflicted by chaos. That is the entire lore of this game. Like, the entire universe is suffering from a apocalyptic event where planets are being infected by chaos, and chaos is destroying the world, manipulating people into giant, disgusting monsters, and the world is on the brink of destruction. Not the world, the universe, right? So the Chaos Zero Nightmare are a group of people that go to these planets to liberate them and destroy the chaos cores to get rid of the chaos from the planets, right? So there you go. There's a basis for the story. So this is the roguelike mode, right? So I already have all of them unlocked. You got one for each element. And what you do is you want to go into these and get new card systems for your, new decks for your characters. And this is just the normal mode. And you think, wow, this is really good. There's a lot of replay value here. But then you unlock Zero System. And the Zero System allows you to create worlds because it's a simulation, right? They explain it in the story. This is an AI machine that the Chaos Zero Nightmare team created on their ship that allows them to simulate what entering a world inflicted by chaos is like. And you get to create your own chaos inflicted worlds. And as you can see, the save data high, that means, so the way the save data works, I'll just explain it vaguely, is the higher the save data value is, that means here's how it works. So when you get cards in, card upgrades, whether that be epiphany upgrades, whether that be equipment in the roguelike, boss cards, especially the boss cards and equipment. Boss cards and equipment have a cost value. So when you see that number on your save data that says like 39,000, 48,000, 42,000, that is the number, the point value of your save data. And the higher the save data value is on the world you're entering means the higher you get to keep all your stuff, right? Because if you enter a world that has low or normal save data value, I think normal is like 40-something thousand, 45,000. Over 50,000, I think, is high. If I remember correctly, that's how it works. So let's just say that's how it works, right? For the purpose of this purpose. So say I get a save data value of 45,000, but I'm in the normal world. And normal only allows you to keep up to 40,000 points of save data value. What this does is it replaces cards from the deck that you built from that roguelike with basic cards. And basic cards are like your basic, like normal attack cards that deal like 100% damage or something like that. It's like useless cards. Not useless, but for the most part, you're not using those as much, right? And depending on the character. So it would take your 45,000 points and try to bring them down to 40,000 and just replace cards that were really high cost with a basic card to lower the cost. So that is why building these worlds with the high save data value is so much more useful. And the way it works in this game, right? When you enter one of these, right? Because one of these was normal before. It was this one, City of Mist, and it was level 41. Once you clear it once, you can upgrade it. So I upgraded it and it got to level 43, and now it's high save data value. The only downside is there's debuffs, right? So credits obtained from battle decrease by 70%, which is a lot. Monsters gain 2 fortitude every 3 turns, which means fortitude is like they take 20% less damage. So if they have 2 of them, they take 40% less damage, and it's every 3 turns they have fortitude. It goes away by the time they get the 3rd one, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so you can literally explore this, and this is an endgame mode too, because you have rewards for these worlds, right? For the dark ones, like as you can see, you have so many more rewards. You can get so many more gems and everything. It shows you the equipment that you can get in these modes, right? Like, dude, I am so absurdly blown away by this. It shows you the weapons, so you can look at this. It shows you the weapons that you can get and the level of the weapons and what they look like at max levels, right? So 5-star, this gold one at 5-star when taking damage after blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, you can before you go in, see exactly what you want to go for, right? So you know what not to waste your money on when you're doing a run. Because like say I want this one, Eternal Stone, but then I get this one that pops up. Instead of equipping that on my character and wasting money buying it in the shop or whatever, I'll either sell it or just wait until I see this one pop up, and then I can put it in my put on my build. So, and it also shows you the highest tier ones, which are the rainbow cards, right? The purple ones. And I've only gotten a couple of these so far. But as you can see what you're going to want to do with your build before you go into it. You can build new worlds. It's highly challenging and very highly addicting. I've gone through these so many times already. And the difficulty can keep going up and up and up. And it has so much replayability. And I've had so much fun doing it that it's, there's been times where I'm trying to get one specific deck and I played the game for like 6 hours, right? Like, it is so insanely addicting. If you've ever played a game like Slay the Spire, which is an amazing game, I highly recommend playing if you have a PC or a console. Definitely give it a shot. If you like games like this, then you'll love Slay the Spire. And Darkest Dungeon, really good. And this game is essentially a fusion of those two games. Darkest Dungeon has the mechanics with mental breakdowns. That's what this game is taking from. And Slay the Spire is the card-based battle system, roguelike thing that this game is taking from as well. Such a incredible fusion of games in one. And it is honestly made this like one of my favorite roguelikes that I've ever played. So yeah, at the end of the day, this game has an absolutely amazing story, great combat, great replayability, team building, character building. You know, the only downsides I said was also the music in this game is phenomenal. And one thing I didn't talk about, but hopefully you guys will look into, and when you play the game, you'll see it. The visuals of the monster designs and the backgrounds. This team, like Smilegate, they have such great teams when it comes to doing the 2D, 3D, like beautiful animation, right? I wouldn't say like Octopath, right? It has the 2D when you're fighting, and then when they go full 3D when they're doing like ultimate moves and stuff. It looks so beautiful. I hope you guys do give the game a shot after everything I said and really look at the backgrounds of these places that you're going to in the story, and then all these different roguelike planets that you're going to in the chaos. It looks so goddamn good, man. But yeah, the only downsides, like I said, are the stamina. It definitely could be better. Even though I am farming damn near the last stage on a lot of these, I am farming stage 5 and stage 6. It still doesn't feel like I'm getting enough for the stamina I'm wasting. And the thing is, I think stamina refills like once every 8 minutes, which is really bad. That is incredibly slow. Correction, I just checked. It's 6 minutes for one energy refresh. So that means it would take 24 hours for you to get full 240 stamina, which if you compare it to a game like Kaiju number 8, which I know a lot of people aren't really playing that game, but I actually really do enjoy how fast it is for me to get in, do dailies, and just get out until I have to do endgame content. But that game is 3 minutes. So you get one stamina every 3 minutes. And then there's also like another thing from expeditions that you do, which is like a tower defense thing that gives you stamina as well. Like it collects stamina and credits for you. So every, like, I would say 4 or 5 hours or so, I have full stamina, sometimes more than full stamina, especially when I claim the expedition thing. So comparing that to this, where you need to wait 24 hours for a stamina refill, sucks. And I don't think they give enough. There is a daily like 80 stamina claim that you can do as well, which is, you know, pretty good. But they need to either give us more stamina refreshes through events or something, or logins, or they need to, I think, take down from 6 minutes to 4 would be nice. That would be like 18 hours instead of 24 hours. Or 5 minutes. No, 5 minutes too much. Yeah, 4 minutes. Or honestly, just give us increased drops on, you know, give us double drop events or something to help us build characters. Because for free to play, this must seem so slow. I don't know. Being free to play without refreshing stamina. Oh man, I don't even know if people are level 40. Like their characters themselves level 40. Never mind the actual account level being 40. That has got to be rough. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you guys are willing to give the game a try, or if you've been enjoying the game. Let me know what you like about the game, if there's something that I didn't say. I just really wanted to focus heavily on like character building, the deck building, the gameplay loop, and how they handle character releases and their events. I think it is probably this is my favorite gacha game I've played in a very long time. So for those of you guys that come to my stream to say, is Wuthering Waves your favorite live stream, you Kurabot? No, it's not even. This game is my favorite gacha game right now. Wuthering Waves, I'm gonna be honest with you. Wuthering Waves is a game I play for story every 6 weeks. And if there's exploration to do, I'll do it. And if there's an end game event to do or a new event, I'll do it if it's fun. If it's not, I won't do it, which there's been times where I didn't even do the event. Like I didn't do the Elusive Dream one every time it's come up, because those suck ass. Unless they do the original one that they had. I thought that was way better. In you know, the 1.0 areas, I thought that one was just way better. It just needed to be tweaked a little bit, and they messed it up. But for those of you guys that are asking, yeah, no, Wuthering Waves, I play it once every 6 weeks, and then I don't play it at all for 6 weeks. So no, it's not even close to being my favorite gacha game. I just like the story and the way they present the story and the characters, and the music. You know, the visual storytelling is very good. But when it comes to like, dude, I don't even like visual novels, and this game has visual novel storytelling, but it's done so well. There are some parts where they yap a little bit too much, I just power through it real quick, like chapter 2, for example. But then ever since chapter 2 ended, it has been nonstop, just like jaw-dropping twists and stuff. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like, there was a part where somebody was being fucking sacrificed while they were alive, and that was messed up. Oh my God. I was literally going like this the whole time it was happening in real time. I was playing it off stream. It was so goddamn good, man. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I know I rambled long enough in this video. I really wanted to get in why I love this game so much, and I want more people to play it because I don't think enough people are playing this game. If you're new to roguelikes, this is a perfect introduction. If you're not a fan of gacha, but you like roguelikes, you can totally play this game without spending any money. 1,000,000%. The stamina thing is a little bit an issue, but like I said, it's a marathon, not a race. So eventually, you're going to get all these characters at level 60, and then it won't be a problem unless you're pulling new characters, and then you have to build them. But by then, you probably already have resources built up. That's how this is in like every gacha game. A lot of people are playing this game and they want instant gratification of like being able to have every character max level within a week of the game coming out. And it's just not realistically feasible in a lot of these gacha games, right? Well, unfortunately, it is a gacha game, so it does have these kind of mechanics where it kind of stop you from playing the game as much. But even then, if you were free to play, you'll probably have your characters at least level 40 right now. Probably at least 3 to 4 or 5 characters at level 40. That's how much I probably had my characters at before I started refreshing, because I did not max refresh for the first 2 days. But ever since then, I've been max refreshing my stamina because I just want to keep building these characters and build new characters and try new characters out in the game that I haven't tried before, because every character in this game is good for something, and it just makes for such a good gameplay loop, and I never get bored of the game. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've rambled on for long enough. I do want to do more videos on Chaos Zero Nightmare. A lot of people are saying, are you going to do guides? I would love for you to do guides. Dude, there is so much to this game. I'm like 50 hours plus in at this point, and I'm still learning more shit about this game. Probably almost at 100 hours by now at this point. I wish I could see how much game time I have on this, on the stove app or something. But yeah, there's so much to learn about this game that I don't want to do a guide that could later on be wrong, right? Because like I didn't know everything about the game, and now I know I might be late to the game when I do start making guides and make videos on the game, but there's just so much to learn about this game. And I think the enjoyment of this game is not watching someone do a guide video, but it's learning how to play the game yourself. And that's why I love this game the most, because it reminds me of like my childhood and games that came out when I was a teen or when I was, in my childhood, where you had to just learn how to play that shit yourself. There was no Googling anything. There was no, let me go watch a YouTube video. That shit didn't exist then. They had these booklets that you could buy, like that were like $20 that you could buy in the past, where it was like, for Pokemon, for example, my mom used to buy me them. I did enjoy it for those games though, because you could literally like see where all the Pokemon are and where all the hidden things are, and what trainers had what Pokemon were in certain areas, stuff like that. But overall, most games, when you played them, you had to learn how to play it yourself. And I think that's what makes this game so fun, because there is so many different ways to play the game and build characters. And I don't want to ruin that by making a guide. But I think I will eventually in the future maybe make other guides, like how to properly spend your resources, how to build this character to do, to work for, like for Ray, for example, how to build Ray to work with Kayron, right? Stuff like that. So I think I will be doing guides like that eventually, but right now I just want to keep enjoying the game and want to get other people to enjoy the game with me. So hopefully this video got you guys wanted to give the game a try.